Hello everyone, this is Natsuki, and today I wanted to talk about identity. What I've found, which is quite interesting I think, is that wherever I go in the world, and I've done some traveling, uh, mostly for tech stuff, and every time I go somewhere, they're always asking me, where are you from? And so, no matter where I am, I'm always from somewhere else. Even when I'm in a certain place and I've been living there for a while, or in a certain country or a certain area, I'm always from somewhere else. It doesn't matter where I am, it doesn't matter if I lived there for years or grew up there or was born there or it doesn't matter whatever country I've been to, it's always I'm from somewhere else. But one of the things I've found, especially when I'm in the United States, that the way that that question is presented, it has a certain level of, I guess, cultural unawareness. You could call it downright disrespect, um, or just lack of knowledge, I think. Um, and so it's interesting because there's only one or two places where in the world where I have been that, you know, people are like, oh, you're from here, and they're asking me, well, what province are you from, or what area are you from, or what district are you from, you know, and I'm completely 100% accepted, in that location. That does not happen in the United States. I'm always from somewhere else. There's always people asking you questions like, what are you? That's not a question. I think 5-year-olds are told not to ask that question like that. That's a certain level of unawareness that that question can be taken in different ways. I'm gonna chalk it up to just innocence, and you didn't know any better, and you think it's okay, and okay, go read a book. But what are you? I'm a human being. Or what are you? I'm a scientist. Or what are you? I'm a teacher. Or what are you? I'm a person. Uh, you know, but I guess me having ADHD and Asperger's, you're going to ask me a question, I'm going to give you the answer. Most of the people who I have actually wanted to know their input about if they were asked that question, I got everything from I'd slap them in the face to I'd never talk to them again to I'd walk away to I'd scream at them at the top of my voice, that, most of the people, I think I asked 10 or 12 different people, what would they do if they were asked that question? And they just said, I'd slap the person in the face or, never talk to them again. But what I did, I answered the question because there are no stupid questions, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and just answer the question. And then when I give the answer, the answer is like, well, that's the wrong answer. Well, how is it the wrong answer? You know, if know your ethnicity and what culture you came from, and you relay that information, and then for some reason the person thought that you were in some other census box that you're not actually in the United States, then that is the wrong answer. So how is that the wrong answer? I would think that I would know the answer to that question maybe more than the person asking, because you're asking for a reason, and why is that? Why is it important? It's not important. People are people. It doesn't matter where they came from, and being able to understand that is critical for a mature society to function in an intersectional way of diversity and inclusion, because we are not all the same. And I don't think we would want everybody to be the same, because that would be a little bit boring, I think, and cookie cutter, you know. And, I think people who are biracial or multiracial or, whatever, got a mix of different cultures, different languages, things like that, have an experience like I have had, that brings a certain level of understanding, I think, of different cultures and different viewpoints and stuff like that. And I find specifically in the United States that is a little bit of a, I don't know, it's not mature as is in some cultures or some countries, where people have, speak multiple languages, or, you get on, you get on a train in Europe, and then you're in France, and then you're in, Germany, and then you're in Switzerland, and then you're under the channel, and you're in the UK. So you got things like that, but that's understandable, or you go to New York, or you go to California, and, like, people in the street are speaking multiple languages, and that's completely understood, so yeah. So one of the things that I wanted to do here was just talk about that a little, and I will be going into more about noise from graphic noise and what that means to me. And noise as a character is, in the story, he is half Japanese, and he's also African American and Navajo. And he goes through kind of a transformation of having people tell him what he is, or he's not enough of this and not enough of that, so he can't be that, and that causes him sort of this angst, because he knows who he is, and then he gets all this, like, verbal confusion from outside that just causes, like, a, I don't know, identity thing. And so Graphic Noise 3, which we're now doing in French, it's in English, we have it in Japanese as well, that noise explores that in the story. And that volume of the manga actually looks into that as kind of a transformative thing for noise. How he understands that his art is affected by who he is and his ethnicity and his culture and how he grew up, and having that big jump from Tokyo to, the Navajo Nation when his parents die, and the culture shock that he had to go through, and that was important to tell in the story, and how that shapes him and his art, and gives him a unique perspective on the world. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I know this is a little long, but yeah, so anyway, that's it for today. We'll do a bunch of other videos. They'll be under the Mixed Manga Writer section, which looks at graphic noise, and the different people in there, and the different cultures and how they affect how people view the world, and how noise views the world, and how the world views him. And so, yeah, I think that's important to talk about. And it's also important because writing Graphic Noise Volume 3 was helpful in my journey and understanding, the intersectionality that I have, and how that affects the way I see the world, which oftentimes seems a little bit different than a lot of people that I happen to be around. So, okay, this is a little long, so I apologize for that, but peace.